The last thing I want to talk about on our stream today, guys, was some very interesting stuff surrounding the Lucha Bros. Because, quite frankly, this is becoming one of the most interesting stories in professional wrestling. We know that there was a report last week that the Lucha Bros were signing with the WWE or have signed with the WWE. Then it comes out that they apparently didn't sign yet because of the contract situation. So somebody's lying, somebody's bullshitting, some sources are wrong. Do I think Lucha Bros are going to WWE? Yes. 1000%. And I know I don't really care for Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, but if there's one thing, Dave Meltzer will always be top of the, he's always going to know what's happening backstage to AEW because those people there love him. His WWE shit probably isn't the best, most reliable stuff. But I feel like when Dave Meltzer talks about AEW, we know him and TK are buddy-buddy. We know Tony Khan writes the show basically to get Dave Meltzer's approval. Dave comes out, and he's talking about Rey Fenix, and he was told that Rey Fenix has not been told that he's being released. So nobody actually knows whether or not Rey Fenix will have added time to his contract, and nobody knows if Tony Khan will let him out of his contract to go to WWE. And listen, long story short, as Dave Meltzer talks about this, Dave Meltzer likes talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but he's basically talking about how WWE wouldn't do this for AEW, and that obviously begs the question, why should AEW do this for WWE? AEW shouldn't do this for WWE. AEW should strictly do this for AEW. If it's a well-known thing that AEW talent don't want to be there, they should not be held there. This is not Vince McMahon. This is Tony Khan. The alternative to WWE sounded like an actual alternative. But if you think about it, if Tony Khan is adding contract time for people who missed out, if Tony Khan is not releasing talent who don't want to be there, that to me reminds me of Vince McMahon. And then it kind of got me thinking about this thing that people had said before, where Tony Khan is kind of like everything Vince McMahon is, which is everything he said he wouldn't be. And the reality is this: Rey Fenix and Pentagon have not been on AEW TV. AEW's tag team division isn't really that exciting right now. And I don't know, I just remember a lot of fake outrage when Mustafa Ali asked for his WWE release. He never got it, and the amount of shit that WWE got. And I remember saying at that time, WWE shouldn't hold talent hostage. Let them go. Let people go. If they don't want to be there, let them go. Both of these companies have roster members that aren't even being used. Both of these companies are literally in situations where you have people fighting to get TV time. And so what are you going to do? Add contract time to Rey Fenix and then just not let him wrestle, not let him be on TV? Because the purpose of that is to stop them from getting momentum before they go to WWE. Like Ricky Starks is apparently in contract. Miro is still reportedly on contract. So AEW basically not letting people leave. I'm telling you guys right now, if I was a talent, I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to be there. That's the one thing I hate about WWE, and it's the one thing I hate about AEW. In the last few years, you haven't heard that many stories of talent being unhappy with WWE. The internet will tell you differently. If you go on Twitter, people will tell you, oh, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo are not happy in WWE. They're going to be all elite. Then it comes out they've re-signed for multi-years. Right? So the reality is this. This is the reality. This is what you guys all need to remember as we sit here and talk about this. WWE and AEW if they have talent that don't want to be there, while it does help the other company to sign them, it helps your company even more because it shows that your talent that you genuinely look out for their interests. Now it's hard because I'm a business owner. Sometimes being a business owner, you can't do what is best for the people. But I also don't agree with that. It's not 100% true. Like Tony Khan let William Regal out. William Regal then went to WWE. That was beautiful. That was nice of Tony Khan. So the thing is, as a business person, it's very difficult to show favoritism. I'm going to do this for William Regal. I'm not going to do this for Miro. Weird, man. It's weird. And AEW should be better than this. AEW should be better than this. Luke Newman drops a $1.99 super chat. He says, is Pentagon a free agent then and Rey Fenix is not? That's what the word going around is. The word going around is that Rey Fenix might have added time to his contract, which would prevent AEW, or excuse me, it would prevent WWE from signing him. The problem with that, Penta could go to WWE, do some single stuff until Phoenix comes in. That's completely fine. The problem with this, though, and this is also not being discussed, but this is on the flip side. If Rey Fenix and Penta signed with WWE like those reports suggested, and WWE was working on merchandise, then how did we get to the point where WWE was in communication with these guys if they're not technically out of contract? So sources from both sides are saying shit that just simply don't make sense. Do I think they are going to WWE? Yes. I do. When does it happen? I don't know. But there are people in these companies that don't like their job and they don't want to be there and they want to go to another company. These wrestling companies need to cut that shit out, bro. They need to cut that shit out. It's time for them to stop that shit. Unless you genuinely have plans to use them, cut them. If you can sit in a room with them and talk about making things happen together and being on the same page and being on the same wavelength, because that's what's best for business, then sure. But we hear all the time on the internet wrestling community, you heard rumors of Malachi Black wanting out. Tony Khan wasn't having it. What the hell has he done? See what I mean? Miro hasn't been used. Wardlow hasn't been used. Ricky Starks hasn't been used. And nobody knows why people aren't being used. They don't know if it's injuries, personal issues, if they're disgruntled. Nobody knows anything. Everybody's left in the dark. You see somebody on TV, the next minute they're not on TV. The reality is, if we know somebody doesn't want to be there, whoever it may be, don't force them there. You're going to add time to somebody's contract. Cool, Tony Khan, you're getting that TV deal. That's great. You got the money. You can pay for it. Is it really worth paying the money to keep Rey Fenix away from WWE? Save that money. Invest that money in your product. Do something. I don't know. But this is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Super ridiculous.